Planning board meeting. We will begin this meeting as we always do with the sharing of the mission, and Napua has agreed to be the reader of our mission today. Napua.
Early Learning Board mission to support children's academic and lifelong well-being by directing and supporting the Executive Office of Early Learning for an effective, coordinated, high-quality early learning system from prenatal to kindergarten entry.
Thank you, Napua. We'll do a roll call of attendance to ensure we have a quorum. Justina.
Here.
Erin.
Here.
Iolani.
Ayo, Arahokoko.
Megan. Megan. Ben.
Here.
May.
Here.
Peter's here. Napua.
Ayo.
Mari.
Here.
Carrie. Carrie is absent. Melody.
Aloha, I'm here.
You. Dana.
Here.
Yeah, I tried to find out video just because of what they say now. It's.
Rochelle.
Half of each person's there where I live. If there was no traffic.
Steve Shaw.
Sunday morning.
Steve Schatz.
Sorry, he just doing.
Okay. And Keiko for Matt Shin.
Here.
Thank you. All right, we do have a quorum so that we can proceed with business, and the first item where action needs to be taken is the approval of the February 22nd special meeting minutes. The chair moves to accept the minutes. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Justina, was that you?
Oh, yeah, Justina.
You do have a cold, I can hear it. Any discussion in the minutes?
I have,
All right,
page 6,
page 6.
American Academy of, well, Hawaii chapter of American Association of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Pediatrics. I don't think you chose this option, so it's just a change of the law.
All right. Did you catch the change that's needed? Oh, okay. I also have a change on page 2. Apologies for not identifying this initially. I'm sorry, it's not page 2, it's page 3. At the very top, where it says from the previous page, the ELB was put into place to ensure that the director position would not be subject to political changes when the governor changed. The statement should end as the ELB early learning environment was put into place, period. And it should begin the next sentence: to ensure that the director position would not be subject to political changes when the governor changed, the board then transitioned to a governing board, etc. So it was the establishment of the governing board that created that particular, addressed that particular issue about securing the director's position over time. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on the February 22nd special meeting minutes with those 2 changes. Justina.
Aye.
Erin.
Aye.
Iolani.
Aye.
Has Megan joined us? Ben.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
I vote aye. Napua.
Aye.
Mari.
Aye.
Melody.
Aye.
Thank you. The February special meeting minutes have been approved with the 2 amended changes. All right, we'll now move to the March 9th meeting minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
This is Ben, I'll motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Bob, this is Melody.
Thanks, Melody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to vote on the March minutes as presented. Justina,
Aye.
Erin,
Aye.
Eleni,
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
May,
Aye.
Peters, aye. Napua,
Aye.
Maury,
Aye.
and Melody.
Aye.
The March minutes have been approved as presented. Thank you all. The next item on the agenda is the opportunity for public comment, with a reminder that there's a 2-minute time limit per speaker and the comments need to be related to the agenda items. Is there any public comment to be shared at this point? Anything in the chat, Justina? Jordana? No, okay. There will be another opportunity for public comment later in the meeting, should anyone be so moved to share. All right, item 4 in the agenda is the Executive Office on Early Learning Updates. Turn to Yuko and her staff. Yuko?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. We'd like to share our updates. So, Jordina, would you like to do our legislative updates, please?
Sure. Okay, so I think good afternoon, everyone. A major update, of course, is HB 300, the state budget bill. It has been heard by both the House and the Senate. The Senate draft version budget worksheets have been posted on the Capitol website if anyone is interested in taking a look at it. The SD version does have, for EDN 700 for EOEL's budget, it has appropriations for public pre-K expansion. So for the 55 additional EOEL pre-K classrooms to open by school year 24, the appropriations also include funding for 11 of those classrooms to open in school year 23. It also has funding for the Early Childhood Educator Stipend Program. It does have a position request to enhance EOEL's internal capacity, and it also does have the appropriation ceiling for the Early Learning Special Fund, which was for $3 million. Okay, and then most notably, conference will begin soon. It'll start next week, Monday, the 17th. Conference occurs between 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So essentially, conference are for bills that the Senate and House do not agree on. They'll discuss further through the conference committees whenever those are scheduled. And generally, public testimony will not be accepted. And then just some major upcoming deadlines. Today is second crossover for bills. Next week, Tuesday, is crossover for concurrent resolutions. And then Thursday, the 27th and Friday, the 28th are final decking. So non-fiscal bills on the 27th and fiscal bills on the 28th. And then CNADA, which is the end of the ledge session, is Thursday, May 4th. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Jordina. Next, there's no EOEL public pre-K updates at this time. And Alohi, would you like to give the next section?
Yes, can do. You go. Aloha, everyone. I just wanted to share that I've been giving this update for the last few meetings about giving progress updates using a Google form. I did get it field some questions as far as due date of the form or when should it be done by. And so the form will be open until the end of this year, as I want to document progress throughout this year of 2023, the last year of the strategic implementation plans. So it's really open anytime that is convenient for you all to provide a progress update. So I would say best practice, if you can, maybe provide an update at least twice a year. If you can't do that, then once a year is enough too. And it will be probably closed at the end of the year or maybe at the end of next year, just to capture some of those last updates that happen at the end of 2023. And then for the PDGB5, we have initiated several RFP processes. So we've shared out the RFP through super quotes to update the comprehensive needs system, and we've started to create the RFP for early Head Start and childcare partnerships. And we also are going to be doing monthly TA calls with the PDGB5 TA Center. And so a few of us members got to attend the first one, which provided guidance on the needs assessment, our strategic planning and program evaluation plan. And they're also taking feedback from states on different TA needs. If there's any questions, happy to answer them.
Thank you, Lohi. And if you wanted to take a snapshot of the QR code, this is what Alohi was talking about. It's a document that is available. And if you like it and would wish to pass it out to anybody who you're connected with, please let us know and we can send you a PDF document of this. Chris, would you like to share your updates?
Yes, thank you, Yuko. Good afternoon, everyone. So we're getting closer to fully vetting and approving, excuse me, our state level MOUs by the directors. And then once we have approval from them, it'll go through the State Department AGs for review and approval before sending them out for signature. And we're hoping that within the next couple of months, we will have updated MOUs with our partners. So that's great. Sorry. All of the Head Start and early Head Start directors, and I think Ben might have more to say about this in his member update, but all of the directors, including myself, met with the Lieutenant Governor, including 4 of the agency CEOs during a hybrid session on the 11th of April. And we just want to convey the desire of the Head Start Association to support the Ready Keiki initiative and to partner with the LG in ways to increase access for 3s and 4s to early learning programs and services. The group shared some historical background and context, as well as the kinds of services that are provided statewide, including our current partnership with DOE through standalone and preschool inclusion classrooms on campuses statewide. And I think we all felt that the meeting went very well. LG was very receptive to hearing more about the value of Head Start in the community. We did explore there were a few possible strategies suggested, which the association will continue to explore further. And I think Ben will probably want to expand a little bit more about this in his sharing. I did want to say that I put in the wrong date for this annual Hawaii Outer Pacific Island Head Start Institute. It's actually the next week, April 17th to the 21st, instead of the 24th through the 28th. And all that I've written in here is still very applicable. It's really an opportunity for program staff to get together and to discuss issues and to plan around quality and program improvement strategies and to learn more through professional learning opportunities. So great opportunity for program staff. And finally, I just continue to meet with a lot of stakeholders, and focus is still on workforce development, infant toddler issues, and early childhood health and homelessness.
happy to answer any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. So in the realm of family support, I just wanted to share that Alohi and I had an opportunity to participate in the National Family Support Network certification training. And it was really neat to be with a cohort of people to learn more about strengthening and supporting families and the standards of quality that have been identified. And they generally focus on these 5 areas, which is family centeredness, family strengthening, diversity, equity, inclusion, community strengthening, and evaluation. And we had a great opportunity to reflect on our current practices. And I'm actually hoping and trying to find a way to actually bring this type of training and professional development to our office. So it was excellent. And if you have an opportunity, you might want to take a look at that. Along the lines of family support, I just wanted to reemphasize that EOEL is currently supporting 2 FCILs, which is Kailua and Nanakui, in partnership with Keikio Ka'aina, and we are exploring options to offer more opportunities at this time. For health, mental health, and nutrition, EOEL has been invited to be a part of the Hawaii Child and Adult Care Food Program Advisory Group. And you can see the invited organizations here. And the goal of this is to convene early childhood stakeholders to look at the quality of this dashboard and story mapping and trying to look at strategies for change. And so on the right side, you can see different activities that we are going to be participating in, like facilitated discussions, doing a tutorial, and also trying to give feedback in terms of this advisory group. So it's something that's different. I've not been a part of conversations around food. So this is a first one for me too. In terms of early learning, as you know, at the beginning of March, we did release our early childhood educator stipend program. And I'm happy to report that right now there are 64 applications that have been received. Some of them are like in process, if either incomplete, might be duplicates or some other type of issue with it at this moment. But we do have 30 stipend applications with the accompanying enrollment that's been completed. And then we also have 18 stipend applications that have been completed pending enrollment. And so it looks like there's some interest in this area. And so I'd like to encourage everybody to continue to promote this opportunity to the people in our community. And speaking of promoting opportunities, I came across another one. And so I apologize if this may be in anybody's update, but in a Chaminade in partnership with Kamehameha Schools, and you can see the short URL I put on the side because it's really, really long, but Kamehameha and Chaminade are partnering together to offer 150 fully funded tuition scholarships, 50 each year for 3 years beginning this fall. And it's an online bachelor's degree program and is designed for working adults who are interested in becoming an educator and are ready to take the next step in their career. So feel free to promote that. It supports our workforce, and it's another great opportunity that's out there for everybody. Other system update for our office is that our business manager selection is still in progress, and on May 8th, we will have our institutional analyst interviews. And that's last for me, so I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see. And if anybody has any questions, we can answer, please.
Yuko, I did have one. I was curious on the list of 5 in the family category, the last one, evaluation. What is that reference?
It's the evaluation of practices.
Oh.
So yeah, so and also like how do we measure success? And it's from a more data perspective in terms of that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Yuko or the staff members who reported? It's exciting to see the stipend program taking off and hearing about the KS and Chaminade partnership. In the area we have the greatest concern about at the moment in terms of expansion. So hopefully these will have the impacts that are desired. Yes, thank you. All right, if there are no other comments for items to, or questions for you on the staff, we can move to the subcommittee reports, and the first is a report. I'm sorry, who has it? Justina? Oh, I'm sorry, Justina. Go ahead.
No problem. Actually, it was a question for Alohi related to the SIP questionnaire. Alohi, I was wondering if it would be possible to share a version, or maybe it's something that could be posted on that left-hand column you mentioned on the website. That's like a PDF version of all the questions that the group would need to respond to. The main reason I'm thinking about it is because typically we'd probably answer it with a group of people who are working on one particular like of the objectives or goals, and we would want to like mull over the questions before entering them into the online survey piece. Is that a possibility?
Yes, I can do that. I've heard that suggestion before in the last couple or over the years, so I think that's a good suggestion. I could probably add that to the website for download of a PDF of the questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to know you guys, this is just my own comment, the family strengthening series or the workshop, because I also did that earlier this year and I found it to be a really excellent framework. So I also encourage others to take that training if possible.
Right. Any other comments or questions? Don't want to cut anybody off and just move on. All right, I don't see anything else in the chat. Ashley, do you see anything? No? All right, let's move then to the subcommittee reports and updates. Ben is going to report on the strategic implementation subcommittee's work of late. Ben?
Thanks, Bob. Good afternoon, everyone. So our SI committee met last week, Tuesday, and we are beginning to look at the dashboard, the draft dashboard that EOEL has created regarding the state plan and the progress that it's making. So last week, Tuesday, we started with the early childhood systems building block. I was able to provide some, I think, good feedback to Jeff and Alohi. The plan is for them to take that feedback and create for the building blocks. The early childhood system building block dashboard page to create like a 1.5 version for us to kind of take a look at and see how it looks and how it reads and what kind of information it presents. Then the idea is we have two meetings scheduled. One is on the 19th of next week, and on the 11th of May, where we're going to continue to look at the other 4 building block dashboards and kind of do the same process, provide input and feedback to give Alohi and Jeff an idea of what's the best way to represent the progress that's happening in each of those building blocks. And so I think that's about it. And the idea would be once those dashboards are good to go, our SI committee will approve them, and that'll give UEL the opportunity to present it at the early learning board prior to making the information public. So we're moving along. Hopefully in our next 2 meetings, like I said, we can get through the other 4 building block dashboards. Any
questions for Ben? I'm glad to see that the committee is moving forward on the approval of the motions from the last meeting. Ben, thank you for continuing to lead that effort. And we'll look forward to hearing more from the subcommittee as its work continues. All right, the next report is from the Governance Standing Subcommittee. Matt Shim is not able to be with us today, and I will report on the status of Senate Bill 1022 and where it stands and what's coming up. You may recall that the bill left the Senate and was passed on to the House as it was originally submitted as SB 1022. On March 16th, the Committee on Education heard the bill and recommended that the amendments we had suggested be incorporated into the bill, and it was passed by the committee with those amendments. On the 21st, it was reported out as amended in HD1. It passed the second reading as amended and was referred to the Committee on Finance. And the Committee on Finance recommended that the measure be passed unamended as well. It was reported by Finance and recommended for passage on the third reading. And on April 4th, it passed its third reading in the House with and was received by the Senate. On April 5th, the Senate disagreed with the House amendments and referred SB 1022 HD1 to Conference Committee for further conversation. So that's where things stand at the moment. There is no indication of where the disagreements may be with the bill at this point. And I've asked Jordana if she would even, I know she did a quick review of the conference committee process, but Jordana, if you could share with us, how does this, what goes on now? How does this proceed? And what role can the Early Learning Board take as the conversations proceed in conference?
Sure. So yeah, let me start from the basics then. So bills move through both chambers. And when a bill comes back to the originating chamber, unless that chamber agrees to that version, that bill will move to conference. So if a bill does move to conference, there's a notice of disagreement that's posted. This notice is a blanket notice. And then conferees are selected from each chamber, so they're assigned to each bill, and essentially the House and Senate will then discuss, confer, and make decisions during conference. So public testimony is not accepted during conference. However, it is acceptable practice to send a conference memo to the conferees. Conference meetings are open to the public, so anyone can sit in during those hearings. As I mentioned earlier, conference does occur between the hours of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. starting on Monday the 17th. And the memos for conference must be posted at least 24 hours in advance. So you could do the same process, check a bill for the notice or check a hearing notice. And then if you want to attend, you can. For the board, however, it would be acceptable to send a collective conference memo with any requests that you might have as it pertains to the bill.
Okay, thank you, Jordana. So the plan is for the chair to compose a conference memo in support of SB 1022 HD1 and to submit that memo on behalf of the board. And individual members could certainly have an oral conversation with any legislators that they might choose to support the passage of that bill, not as ELB members particularly, since we will do the memo, but in their individual roles or capacities. So there is some action that can be taken despite the fact that testimony cannot be received or is written. The memos will be prepared shortly. By the time we meet in May, a decision will have been made already by the legislature, not necessarily approved by the governor at that point. So we'll know better where things stand. I reached out to boards and commissions asking, what does this all mean, since we're sitting a bit in limbo at the moment about the board? Should there be approval or non-approval of the current bill as it's being presented? I have not heard back yet, so I'm sorry I can't share with you what the procedure will be or what type of a transition will occur should the bill be approved. If the bill is not approved for some reason, either the conference reported bill, or the current, the one we're supporting, then, or the governor turns it down, then obviously this board would continue to function as it currently is. So that's about the best information I can share. Jordana, is there anything that I've omitted that people should know going forward that you think we should be aware of?
No, I think you summarized it.
Okay. Just to keep you informed, I'll let you know if I hear anything, what the next steps are. Just know that we will be providing a memo from the board in support of SB 1022 HD1. It will be similar to the testimony that you received recently with the board packet for this particular board meeting. Does anybody have any questions or comments around the bill, where things stands, or observations, things they might like to be considered in the memo? I don't see anything in the chat. Ashley, am I missing anything? No. Okay. By hearing no comments, we will leave that in, let that information stand. If you have a question individually after the meeting, certainly get in touch with me and I'll do my best to respond. We'll move to item number 6. That's the last of the subcommittee reports for this meeting. And that's the opportunity for public comment again in this meeting. Is there any additional public comment to be shared? Well, seeing none, we will move to member updates. Are there member updates? Ben,
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, just to follow up on what Chris announced earlier around our Head Start meeting with the Lieutenant Governor around Ready Kiki, and we wanted to just make sure she had an accurate picture of the amount of services that Head Start and Early Head Start brings to the state, how many children we families we interact with, as well as the federal funding and resources that we have available. And so I really wanted the Lieutenant Governor just to utilize us as a resource. If there's any, we offered, if there's any way that we can help with the effort, we stand ready to provide whatever we can. So I like Chris said, it felt like a really good meeting. And we got some follow-up items that she had asked us about, but really we wanted to just share because the work we do is very comprehensive, and we're addressing families that are in the lowest level of poverty in the state of Hawaii, across the entire state, and just letting her know where we're located, which agencies are involved, and who we are. And so, like Chris said, it was a really good meeting, and we look forward to working more closely with her and her team to provide whatever support we can. And then another update real quick is, Head Start programs are continuing to try and build on their enrollment. A lot of the programs are still under enrolled, and so there are openings, I want to say, in all the programs across the state through CFS, MEO, PAC, HCAP, Family Support Hawaii, and Maui Family Support Services. But we are all looking at creative ways around workforce. It seems to be one of the key challenges for Head Start and Early Head Start providers in Hawaii, similar to everyone else in the state. But that seems to be the biggest impact right now, is just finding enough staff to reopen classrooms and or keep classrooms open. So just wanted to provide that update as well. Thanks.
thank you, Ben. Are there any other member updates to be shared? Justina?
I just have a brief update that next week is the Kahavai Summit, which is a virtual summit for our early childhood sector providers from all different settings, home visitors, early intervention, childcare. And the idea behind that summit is professional development around trauma-informed practices. So some are very practical things that they can take away. And actually many people here have been involved in helping design those sessions, design the summit. So if you can join us on April 20th and 21st, you'd be more than welcome. We have about, I think it's last I heard, 380 people registered for the day.
Okay. Thank you, Justina, and it's a really robust program, so I would urge you, if you're available, to find the space to be able to be a part of it. Thank you. Any other member updates? Well, I see none, then we will close out this meeting. It's probably the fastest meeting we've ever had. I'd like to think it's because we're efficient and easily moving forward. I think it's because we're all tired. It's probably more the reality. That doesn't need to go in the minutes, by the way. I want to thank everyone who's joined us today, and these are the outcomes that I've captured. First of all, that we have amended the February special meeting minutes with 2 particular amendments, and that will change the minutes. But secondly, the other major outcome is that SB 1022 HD1 will be heard in conference committee, and the Early Learning Board will be providing a memo in support of the bill and the amendments that were recommended by the Education and Finance Committee of the House. And we will see where this goes. All right, those are the only outcomes that I have listed for the meeting. Carrie is not able to join us today, so we have no good words to take away other than to thank you all for continuing to work on behalf of young children, the most important investment we can make in our community. So aloha, everyone.